This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 1999.
I'm here with a good friend of mine, Phil Harrison, who is the VP of, what's your title these days?
Third party and R&D, Sony Computer Entertainment America.
There you go. Roughly how much money has been spent in the development of the new PlayStation?
It's over $1 billion.
$1 billion, it's literally tens and hundreds of times more powerful.
Current PlayStation can do 360,000 polygons per second. Peak drawing capability of the next generation PlayStation graphics chip is 75 million flat shaded polygons per second.
The new machine has DVD.
Any kind of modem, any kind of cable modem, satellite, hard disk drives, the list is endless.
One of the catchphrases is this emotion engine.
The name for our CPU, the main chip that powers the machine. We've now got to a point with the graphics chip inside the new PlayStation where we're actually getting up to the maximum that you can display on an NTSC television. So now the challenge is to make the objects in the game think, act, and behave according to the appropriate physical dynamic properties of that world, whether it's a realistic world in the way that a car handles as you go around the corner, whether it's some fantasy world with a cartoon character bouncing off the walls, to simulate the way that wind blows in your hair. If I was to throw this pebble into the water, the ripples that it creates could be simulated in real time. And I'll show you a demo when we get inside a little bit later on that actually shows you the ripples of water being handled in real-time computer graphics. So let's take a look. You can see the splash that it makes and the disturbance of the water. Why don't you have a go? You can throw a pebble in. Here you go. See a ripple?
I mean, this is all done in hardware?
Yeah, this is all in real time. All of the water ripples are being handled. So if I do nothing, you can see that the water settles back down. I can change the camera angle, drain the water out of the pond, out of the bath, and I can fill it back up again.
Whoa. So he's growing hair in real time, he's glowing, he's changing color. I mean, this is like morph mode or something?
This is actually nerves interpolation.
Interpolating nerves. We actually said that on TV and it means something.
Non-uniform rational B-spline. We're also showing here reflection mapping, where we can make the surface look shiny and it can be chromed.
So you got reflection mapping on your nerves, is that correct?
That's exactly right.
I am sitting here with two extremely good friends of mine, Mr. Lorne Lanning and Sherry McKenna from Oddworld Inhabitants. The next game coming out is?
Next one in the quintology, the next Oddysee is Munch's Oddysee, and that'll be out in a couple years, in about 2 years.
Okay.
And we're also coming out with a real-time strategy game called Hand of Odd, and that'll be out probably in about a year and a half.
Sounds to me like you had this plan from the beginning.
When we started the company, it was our goal to build the Oddworld quintology, which would be 5 key games that told the key parts of the story, introduced 5 central characters that ultimately would come to one big conclusion, and it would take us about 12 years to finish those 5 games.
Why is the CG in this thing so much more amazing than any other game?
Sherry has 20 years of computer graphic experience. I have 12 years of computer graphic experience on motion pictures, commercials, theme parks. So together, what we do is we bring a producing aspect to computer graphics, which is on the high level extremely difficult to make.
It seems to be more popular in Europe actually than America. Is that true?
That's because of marketing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Europe is just totally on top of the marketing. They're totally on top of who the people are that buy these games. They market to the broader public. And America has been very focused on trying to get the traditional game player and not really expanding out.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
It was great. It was really...
Hello, follow me. Okay. It's a 3D third-person role-playing game. There's like 100 different levels, over 450 people you talk to, 100 monsters, 12 planets, travel to 3 dimensions.
Hey, happy holidays! You picked your game of the year yet? If it were so easy, 1999 was relentless for video game releases. Yeah, Gex 3? I mean, absolutely, but also Final Fantasy 8, Silent Hill, DK64, Street Fighter 3rd Strike, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, DK64, Super Smash Bros., Donkey Kong 64? Oh, and you know the Sega Dreamcast is just getting started. Hey, do you ever think they'll do like an Oscars for video games? All I know is if they do, they better have Canadians involved. GamegamesOnline.com? Hey, digging the new chair, by the way. Thanks. Grandparents' basement.
You know, the music industry has the Grammy Awards, the movie industry has the Academy Awards, but what about video games? Well, we have a new awards show, and it's put on by the Interactive Academy of Arts and Sciences, and we talked to the president, Jim Charne. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, www.interactive.org. Who are some of the finalists this year?
The Legend of Zelda is up for a lot of awards. We have Grim Fandango, Half-Life is up. And in fact, Tommy, you're a finalist in the sound and music category. You give me the envelope, but we can't open this till the night of the show.
Who are some of the presenters?
Peter Molyneux is the creator of Populous. Bruce Shelley, creator of Age of Empires. Ben Stein from Win Ben Stein's Money on Comedy Central. Danica McKellar from The Wonder Years. Kelly Hu from Martial Law. Sugar Ray Leonard. And Coolio. Coolio. It's pretty cool.
The big Hall of Fame award, which last year was won by Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto.
This year, Sid Meier was really a very strong choice.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that. You want to put that back. Yeah. Hey, Jim, look over there. No one has been the cause of more marriage breakups and people losing their job because they were playing his games all the time than this guy, Sid Meir.
I'm here with the legendary Sid Meir, game designer, who's just won an award and he's been entered into the Hall of Fame for video game design. How does it feel?
It feels great. It's very exciting. We had a great award ceremony, and I'm really excited.
And what's this?
This is the Hall of Fame award. It represents a lifetime of writing computer games, and they gave it to me tonight.
So how long have you been writing computer games for?
I've been writing computer games for about 15 years.
15?
15 years. I know I don't look that old, but it's been 15 years.
So you must have started when you were like 10 or something.
I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, so you're like my age.
You know, like on a Fisher-Price computer. We did everything back in those days. We did adventure games and simulations. We could do anything.
And you are pretty much responsible for developing what they call the God games.
Yeah, I think Civilization is probably the most well-known game that I've done. It's a God, what they call a God game. You get to start with one really tiny settler and create an entire civilization and play through thousands of years of history. So there's a lot to it.
And it's not just Civilization, it's Sid Meier's Civilization. What's it like to have your name attached to a title?
It's great to have your name on a game. I think it tells people, you know, who the designer is, what type of thing to expect in the game. And people come up to you at parties and want to interview you with cameras and stuff, so it's great.
You love it.
I love it. Yeah.
Alpha Centauri, your latest project. What made you want to do this?
We'd really never done a science fiction epic type of game. Kind of took the ideas we'd had with Civilization, added some new things. We let some time go by so we could think of a lot of new things, listen to our players. They told us a lot of features that they were looking for. Again, put that all into a new game, and Alpha Centauri came out.
Are you guys working on anything right now?
We're always working on some cool stuff, yep.
What are you working on?
Some really cool stuff.
What are you working on?
I can't tell you.
Oh, come on, Sid.
It's cool. It's very cool. Trust me. Very, very cool. Did I mention it was very cool?
Do you think I could hold your award for a second?
You might. You can hold it. It's very heavy.
Wow, these are heavy. All right, well, thanks for your time, and I'll see you later. All right. Okay, bye.
He's talented, he's funny, he's quirky, he's Tom Hall, and he's got a new game coming out called what's that? Anachronox. And from what I understand, it has absolutely nothing to do with spiders.
I'm here at the AIAS Interactive booth at E3, and I'm waiting for Tom Hall, who happens to be late.
Hi.
Hey Tom, how you doing?
That's great, great. It's a good show. Things are going well.
Do you get the feeling we're gonna fall off up here? Feel the wall moving?
Now that you mention.
I forgot I had a fear of heights.
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Yeah, Anachronox is doing great at the show. Wow, that's about 30 feet. Anachronox, N-O-X, means poison from the past. And if you play the game, you'll find out what that means. Anyway, it's a 3D third-person role-playing game. There's like 100 different levels, over 450 people you talk to, 100 monsters, 12 planets, travel through 3 dimensions. There's a whole bunch of stuff you get to do in the game. Also, we provide all the tools so you can make your own planets to extend the universe, and that's what I'm excited about, because then I get to play the game and not know what happened.
Will there be a lot of Anachronox playing?
Oh yeah, it's getting to that really cool stage where everyone's really excited about it. I mean, you can also like make games within games, so people can make I actually just wrote in 15 hours Galaxian, that kind of game. So I mean, it's exciting how much you can create.
You can play Galaxian in the game?
You can play it and you can write your own. So we actually have a little scripting language that has enough power for you to write your own little arcade games. And
I'm gonna make Joust.
Okay, well do that. Joust, joust, joust.
Why didn't you make Joust?
Well, maybe I don't want to make Joust. Okay,
maybe you should.
You got a problem with that? I don't make Joust.
I do have a problem with that. What games could you compare it to?
Let's say you took Final Fantasy VII or Chrono Trigger. Now combine that with Blade Runner, throw in a little bit of Half-Life and a little bit, just a teeny bit of Super Mario 64, and then I think you pretty much have Anachronox.
Now we all have the secret recipe to make Anachronox.
I wasn't supposed to...
You're over! It's over! It's okay, it's okay. We can cut it out.
Okay.
Well, I think you should go now.
Okay, we'll see you later. Nice
Bye.
talking to you.
It's very important to us to be able to do virtually everything you needed to do to make a game in-house. That way, if we made mistakes, we could go back and correct it.
Hey, what's your favorite video game of all time? No way, that's mine too! Celebrate video games along with myself and Victor Lucas every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on youtube.com/EPNTV. Brought to you in part proudly by PNP Games. Play forever!
We went to Monolith.
I'm here with Jason Hall, the CEO of Monolith Productions. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how Monolith got started?
Myself and a group of friends decided that making educational children's software wasn't mentally challenging enough. So we started to put together little neat demonstrations of our technical ability, and we compiled them onto a compact disc that we called the Monolith CD. Microsoft got a hold of one and they said, hey, this is really cool. We have a job for you.
Give me the list of all the games you guys have done.
Claw, Get Medieval, Shogo, Blood, Blood 2.
So what do you do, Israel?
I do the art for all of our games.
So what's that behind you?
That is my 3D Softimage studio computer. It's very nice.
Who's the guy with the big googly eyes?
Little Frankenstein character here. But we're going to use this guy for one of our LithTech intro things.
What's LithTech?
I like to refer to it as a 3D game operating system.
Oh. Can you make any kind of 3D game?
Yeah. Sports games, third-person perspective, first-person. You could do top view, God-style perspective. It's very flexible.
It runs Blood 2, it'll run Sanity, it did Shogo, and it'll do pretty much all of the other games we're doing now.
And this is all using LithTech, Photoshop, and Softimage.
Pretty much. We also have the motion capture studios. We have the sound. That's all very important.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the music department at Monolith?
And James and Cass take care of all the sound effects. So it's a small but efficient department. We take care of all the sound and music for our internal games. We have another hot game coming up called Sanity. And
What's that about?
magic, lots of spells. It's kind of an action but RPG style game.
And how does that affect the type of music that you produce?
Well, the music is going to be very fantasy-like, but I'm going to kind of go for a big orchestra feel.
You have a full production facility here.
It was very important to us to be able to do virtually everything you needed to do to make a game in-house. That way, if we made mistakes, we could go back and correct errors.
Thanks for the interview.
No problem.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
The team that created GoldenEye is now coming out with a new spy action-adventure game called Perfect Dark, coming April of 2000. So I'm sitting here with the Perfect Dark team. So tell me about this character. What's her name again?
Her name is Joanna Dark.
Joanna Dark,
Yeah.
and she is Perfect Dark.
She is Perfect Dark.
What exactly is her job title?
Well, she is a Special Forces op for the Carrington Institute.
So she's kind of stealthy. She's like the female James Bond.
Kind of stealthy.
Okay, she's very stealthy.
She's very stealthy.
Very stealthy. And she's like a female James Bond kind of thing?
Except better.
And there's some like aliens or something in it, right?
Well, basically what the plot is, you're Joanna Dark. It is your first mission. You work for the Carrington Institute. What you need to do is you need to sneak into Datadyne and steal the alien technology that they've stolen. Because the aliens are mad now and they want to start a world war, but we ain't gonna let it happen.
You were the lead programmer on the project, correct?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's amazing what you've done with all these polygons.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Multiplayer?
Definitely. In the 4-player mode, you can take the transfer pack, stick it in your controller, and use the Game Boy camera to take a picture of your face and map it on one of your characters.
Get out of here.
You can actually be the character you play with.
Are you
Really
serious?
cool.
Have you done this yet?
Yeah, I've done it, and it makes you look really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you have like options of having like blonde hair, or brown hair, or whatever.
I want to see her face in the game, not my own. How do I get that?
Well, you just have to go around with the camera and start taking pictures, huh?
All right, me and you, photo session a little later?
You got it.
Every level is more surprising, bigger, more enemies. Sometimes they're just mentally tough. The puzzles are just gonna get to you and strain you out.
Do you have different levels?
Definitely, there is an easy level, medium level, and then there's the hard level, which is just insane. Yeah, I mean, on the easy level, it's pretty good. The characters, they got some good aiming. But when you get up to hard, they'll take you out real quick.
What's your favorite level in the whole game?
Multiplayer.
Multiplayer?
Multiplayer, by far.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll get together later. I gotta go. This is a great game. What?
Has
You don't
anybody
like
played
this game?
Double Dragon before? Because
Double Dragon is awesome.
Yeah, Double Dragon was awesome in 1985.
So this is
We're
a
in
game.
2000
Bouncer on
here.
the PlayStation 2 is going to be just like this too.
Oh, you're really not here then. Sometimes you just need some peace and quiet and a good game. If you're in need of a good game, visit pnpgamesonline.com. Browse our selection of thousands of retro and contemporary video game hit titles. Thank you for supporting us. We support Vic and the Electric Playground Classic. Play forever.
So we're talking about Ballistic from Infograms for the Color Game Boy. Now the game's set up in a big spiral, and then there's like a gate at the end. You have to match the right kind of bubbles to get rid of them in certain patterns. As you match them up, they disappear, and it gives you more time to play the game. And instead of in games like Bust a Move, where you have a hard time distinguishing between colors on the Color Game Boy, they use patterns. There are 3 different modes. There's a panic mode, a checkmate mode, and a time attack mode. You can set up 2 Game Boys and play against each other. After you get bored of doing time attack or panic mode, you can go into checkmate. You start out having access to 5 of these puzzles, and as you solve them, you get access to more and more, and they get progressively harder. I may be a little bit biased because I really do like puzzle games. I give this game a 9 out of 10.
Okay, what'd you think of Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, man?
It's Indiana Jones, and everyone loves Indiana Jones. I love Indiana Jones.
I love Indiana Jones.
It's like Tomb Raider, except you're Indiana Jones.
You're Indiana Jones. They used almost exact same model for the engine. You're going through ancient temples like the Temple of Babylon, and you're looking for all kinds of artifacts. You run into the Soviets, because the Nazis are long gone. It's 1947, so we've moved up ahead a little in the story. I'd actually like them to make another Indiana Jones movie. I think this is a nice sort of interim step until they actually get off their butts and make another great movie.
I've been waiting a long time to play some kind of Indiana Jones game.
In 3D. There was a couple of older Indiana Jones games.
I would like to have shot more guys, whipped more guys.
You get action. It's an incrementally more challenging game, so all that stuff starts to pop up as you get further into the game. You start off with a revolver, and then you can find a handgun, there's machine guns. Of course, your whip, and the whip is awesome because you can whip across crevices and stuff like that, and you swing, and the Indiana Jones music comes up, and that's the coolest part.
Above average, like most LucasArts games are. Didn't blow me completely out of my seat, but hey, it's Indiana Jones, and I give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'd give it about an 8. I'd definitely pick it up. I'd rush out and grab this. What'd you think of another single-player action-adventure game, Rayman 2 for Nintendo and PC?
Rayman 2.
Beautiful.
Amazing graphics.
Beautiful game.
I mean, on the N64, it's probably one of the best graphics I've ever seen on the N64.
You got to climb over things and jump and swim and leap and do all the same kinds of things. What separates these games is the design elements and the heart that goes into making these things. And Rayman 2 has got a lot of heart.
Well, my favorite part of the game, I think, was all of the voices in the game. They came up with all these different languages. So
instead of giving all these characters little cutesy English voices, they just made up a language. Very tastefully done.
You look funny.
I look funny.
You look funny.
Yeah, you look great.
The music on the N64 was but the music on the PC though,
For
the PC music
for cartridge, it was pretty good. On the PC,
PC was
on the
phenomenal.
PC, it looks amazing and it sounds incredible. It's world-class action-adventure gaming on the PC.
I mean, I don't know if I really like playing this type of game on the PC, to be honest with you. Kind of a kiddie platformy
But it's different.
game.
It's different for the PC. You don't have lots of choices here. Rayman 2 is a great choice that way. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh.
Rayman 2 is incredible.
That's
Definitely pick it up.
That's a little too high.
I think
it's a good game, but it's not a great game.
And then Rayman 2, two best games for Nintendo this year.
I give Rayman a 7.8.
7.8?
Yeah, I thought it was above average, but I don't think it's a 9. I got to play it every day. I mean, I'm not excited to go and play
phenomenal.
it again. It looks great, don't get me wrong.
Switching gears from Rayman and the cutesy platform stuff, what do you think of Medal of Honor for the PlayStation?
Oh, this is a great game. I mean, you know, where else can you shoot Nazis in the head?
Where else? Not in Rayman.
Not in Rayman, you can't.
It's basically GoldenEye.
GoldenEye on the PlayStation.
Awesome textured worlds, like incredible textures for the PlayStation. DreamWorks Interactive made this, and you can tell that they've been influenced by Spielberg. It's very realistic. You're brought onto the front lines of Germany in World War II, and you've got to go and do all these missions and battle Nazis.
Multiplayer mode was great.
Multiplayer is a blast. It's only 2-player though. That's one, but it's it's really cool. They did a great job with 2-player. The thing about this game is it really sets up a mood, an atmosphere, a tension that you just can't escape.
There might be guys on the balconies trying to shoot you, and you're like looking around.
Sniper, there's grenade launchers, there's rocket launchers.
The sounds are awesome.
Another major production value, extreme.
You run, you can crawl, you can
jump. How about the guys where you throw the grenade at the dude?
Picks the grenade up and launches it back at you.
Medal of Honor, 9 out of 10, man. It's a great game.
Yeah. 9 out of 10. I'd 9.2.
9.2?
Very much up there.
What'd you think of Dynamite Cop?
Are you kidding me? This is a great
silly
game.
What? Has anybody
like
played
this game?
Double Dragon before? Because
Double Dragon is awesome.
Yeah, Double Dragon was awesome in 1985.
So this is a game. Bouncer on the PlayStation 2 is going to be just like this too.
Well, I'm bored of this stuff. There's no mobility. You can't go anywhere.
This is a great game.
You're going to finish it in one day. You're never going to play it.
You can pick up anything in the entire game and throw it at people, including cake.
Same maneuvers.
You can pick up a cake and start hucking it at people. I mean, how great is that?
Okay, I'll give you this. Good graphics.
Great graphics.
I mean, it's arcade perfect.
You have to play it with like 2 players. You know, you and your buddy go in there kicking butt. You can actually pick up somebody by their feet, start hitting other people with this person. How many times have you ever fought a giant octopus in the game?
Not enough.
What would you give this game?
I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's an average game.
God, no way. One of the most fun games.
Don't listen to this guy. Absolutely.
I give it an 8.
An 8 out of 10.
Yes.
Man, that's
very
ridiculous.
fun game. Very fun
only
game.
a rental. Don't spend your money on this thing.
Are you done there?
I think I'm done. How does my hair look? Are you done?
Am I done?
No, you're not. It's not purple
Is
enough.
it purple?
No. Yeah,
I was going for the Sonic the Hedgehog look.
You need a couple more hours, I think.
Okay, bye.
Stay in there. I'll come back to get you.
Okay.
All right, buddy. See you later.
Ah, nerves! 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 Nerves? Nerves? Nerves! 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 Nerves!
Production assistance for Electric Playground is provided by Sony Computer Entertainment, publishers of Jet Moto 3 for the PlayStation. Activision, publishers of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Now everyone thinks they can skate like Tony Hawk. And Computech Media, publishers of Insight Video Gaming, Insight PC Gaming, and InsightGames.com. This classic episode of the Electric Playground was brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support the Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.